Mountains in Chennai? Not the scenic kind. I am talking about the mountains of garbage. For decades, the city has been struggling with overflowing landfills like Kodangayar and Perungudi. But what if I told you these waste dumps are slowly being transformed, not by magic but by science? Welcome to Biomining, a sustainable way of turning waste into wealth. Chennai generates nearly 5,000 tons of waste every single day. For years, most of this ended up in landfills, contaminating soil, water, and air. The landfills at Kodangayar and Perungadi together spread over 500 acres and are more than 30 meters high, as tall as a 10-story building. But now, the Greater Chennai Corporation, the GCC, is tackling this problem using biomining with support from the Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board and the National Green Tribunal. What is biomining? So, biomining is a specific process where old mixed up waste in landfills is excavated, treated, and segregated into usable materials. Instead of just burning or burying waste, biomining focuses on recovering value and restoring the land. The process usually involves excavating the legacy waste with earth movers, screening the waste using trommel machines, separating materials, soil like fines, recyclables like plastics and metals, and refuse that can be sent to cement kilns for as fuel, composting organic material, and using the soil fraction for landscaping or roadworks. This way, nothing goes to waste. It's the perfect example of a circular economy in action. In Chennai, biomining projects are being carried out at two major dump sites. Perungadi landfill, spread across 225 acres, it has nearly 34 lakh cubic meters of legacy waste. Kodungayar landfill, around 258 acres with 66 lakh cubic meters of waste piled up. The goal is quite ambitious, to clear 1 crore cubic meters of legacy waste in the next few years. I think this is one of the largest biomining projects in India. How does it work in Chennai? The process in Chennai goes like this. Huge machines dig up the decade-old waste. Trommel machines separate it into different categories. Soil-like material, which makes up more than 60%, is used in road construction or covering low-lying areas. Plastics and metals are sent for recycling. Non-recyclable plastics are sent to cement plants for co-processing as alternative fuel. This not only reduces the landfill size, but also recovers valuable resources that otherwise pollute the environment. What are the benefits of biomining? Is biomining a game changer? Let's dig in. Environmental impact. It reduces leachate that contaminates groundwater. Health benefits. Less toxic smoke, fewer diseases from open dumps. Land recovery. Once the waste is cleared, this land can be converted into green parks, renewable energy sites, or public spaces. Resource recovery. Plastics, metals, and soil fractions are reused instead of wasted. In short, biomining converts a pollution problem into an economic and environmental opportunity. It's not without challenges. Chennai's heavy monsoon often delays biomining work. Handling old toxic waste safely is pretty difficult. Plus, the sheer scale of the problem. The mountains of garbage accumulated over 30 to 40 years means it will take so much time. But every step forward brings the city closer to cleaner air, water, and land. What is the vision? Imagine this. The same places that once choked the city with stinking garbage could soon be transformed into eco parks, renewable energy hubs, and biodiversity zones. That's the promise of biomining in Chennai, turning today's waste into tomorrow's green assets. Biomining is a reminder that solutions to our environmental problems already exist. What we need is commitment and awareness. So the next time you segregate your waste at home, remember it all adds up to a cleaner, greener Chennai. But for the cleaner, greener Chennai, there is a key to it. The key is nothing but segregation. If every household starts separating wet waste, dry waste, and hazardous waste, the cities won't have to create new landfills in the first place. Biomining helps clear up the past waste, but segregation ensures we don't repeat the same mistakes in the future. It's not as easy as it looks because a lot of residents have been complaining about the delays. At Pakam, people have been complaining that the stench is unbearable. And at Perungudi Sri Sai Nagar, the residents have been reporting worsening health conditions and also started moving away due to health hazards. And at Kodangayar, people started complaining that during monsoons, the stench is unbearable and they couldn't even get out of their house. Why are the delays happening? The delays are for many reasons. The one being contractual issues like the contractor's performance. At Perungudi, the contractor was hired under a big contract that was around 150 crores to clear a part of the dump yard, but the work process has been going pretty slow. And some contractors are failing to meet targets or delivering poor quality work, which is leading to terminations or legal disputes. And the funding and financial source delays, the projects being large scale involving hundreds of crores and funding coming from multiple sources like the city corporation, state central government schemes, external funding, or the green bonds, all this coordination is taking quite a lot of time. And some specific parts of the funding needs separate approvals, which also delays the process. Then comes the technical and infrastructure constraints. Unsegregated waste is the biggest of problems because a lot of waste coming into the dumps isn't properly segregated, which complicates the processing. Biomining works best when incoming waste is already pre-sorted. Then comes the power and utilities interrupted supply, and the rainfall, of course. Heavy rains during monsoon period slow down the excavation, cause runoff, and complicate machinery movement. Then the regulatory, administrative, and monitoring challenges. The approvals and permissions take quite a lot of time. Monitoring and accountability. Some tenders give contracts to firms lacking technical reach. Oversight is weak sometimes. This leads to delays, poor quality, or stopgap work. Administration sanction, government orders, social environmental impact assessment, consultants, etc. all add up to the time. And continuous inflow of fresh waste. Even as biomining is going on, garbage collection and dumping continue. The waste keeps coming in, which means dumping keeps growing. So even while the old waste is being cleared, the new waste adds pressure. This also means smell, fire, pollution, and making the residents suffer even before the biomining completes. Is it because the government or the funding problems? It involves everything: the funding delays, government delays, the contractual underperformance, and poor segregation. Does that mean that this is an unhopeful project? No, there is still hope because in Perungudi, lakhs of cubic meters of waste has already been cleared, processed, and recyclables, plus soil fractions have been recovered. In Kodungaya, the work has finally started with green bond funding and external support. Projects have the support of National Green Tribunal, TN Pollution Control Board, and even international funding agencies like KfW from Germany. This isn't just a local experiment, it's a part of a larger shift in waste management. The long-term vision is, even if it takes years, the goal is clear: reclaiming hundreds of acres of toxic land and turning them into usable green or public spaces. Biomining in Chennai is ambitious, yes, maybe even overwhelming in a scale, but it's not a false hope. It's a necessary long-term investment. Residents may not feel the benefits immediately, may feel troubled, but if executed with consistency and better monitoring, it could transform Chennai's waste crisis into a model for other cities. What can every resident do is segregate their waste at home. That is the minimum that every resident can do and contribute to this mega project. For more such informative videos about sustainability, do follow Go Greenism. Like, share, and subscribe our channel. We'll be back with another interesting video next week. Until then, go green. Thank you.